So this is the top 12 list of the most educated, most intelligent, the smartest people we have in Namibia. So if you watch the video, you'll hear terms like cum laude or distinction. Cum laude basically means having an average of 90% and above. When they add all your marks together from your first year to your last year, if you have an average of 90% and above, you graduate with a cum laude. Distinction means having an average of 80% and between 80% and 90%. When they add all your marks together from your first year to your last year, you have an average of between 80 and 90%, you graduate with a distinction. So remember the definition of cum laude distinction as you are watching the video. Watch the whole video, and at the end of the video, please leave a comment in the comment section, like, share, and then most importantly, subscribe. The top 12 highly educated or most educated, the smartest, most intelligent people we have in Namibia are as follows. We are starting at number 12. At number 12, we have Beata Steketa, who's popularly known as Betty Davids Kyama. So she was previously known as Betty Davids. After she got married to her husband Kyama, she added the name Kyama. So she has numerous qualifications. You can see if there's one thing she likes is graduating. She's very good with books, very, very smart. So what qualification does she have? The first one from the bottom is Business Administration and Management General from University of Cape Town, followed by Bachelor of Accounting Honours degree from University of Namibia, followed by Bachelor of Logistics and Supply Chain Management Honours degree from Namibia University of Science and Technology, followed by Postgraduate Diploma Business Administration and Management from University of Namibia, followed by Masters of Business Administration MBA in Accounting and Finance from University of Namibia, followed by Masters of Law LLM Commercial Law General Commercial Transactions from University of Cape Town. So we are moving on to number 11. Who do we have at number 11? We have Rosalia Martins Ausiku, who's the CEO of MVA, or Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. What qualification does she have? The first one from the bottom is bachelor's degree in Media Studies and Sociology from University of Namibia, followed by Masters in Culture, Communication and Media Studies from University of KwaZulu-Natal, University of Natal, followed by Masters of Business Leadership, Organizational and Strategic Leadership from UNISA, School of Business Leadership. Then lastly, she has a master's degree, Masters of Philosophy in Management Coaching from Stellenbosch Business School. We're moving on to number 10. At number 10, we have Dr. Mesias Alpheus, who was popularly known as the Math Lion during his days at UNAM. So he's currently a lecturer at Stellenbosch, senior lecturer at Stellenbosch. So here he is, senior lecturer. So what qualification does he have? So the first one is from the bottom. He has a bachelor's of Science in Mathematics, where he scored a cum laude. Remember the definition of a cum laude I gave you at the beginning of the video. So the second qualification he has is Bachelor's of Science Honours degree Financial Mathematics from Stellenbosch University, where he also scored a cum laude. Look at the grade cum laude. And then the third qualification he has is Masters of Science Financial Mathematics from Stellenbosch University. Look at the grade again, cum laude. Then the fourth one he has is a Doctorate of Philosophy, PhD in Quantitative Finance. And look at the grade, he was awarded a PhD, awarded with the examiner's commendation for outstanding thesis in finance activities and societies. Finance discipline group, PhD captain, quantitative finance. So that's the Math Lion. So we are moving on to number 9. Who do we have at number 9? We have Dr. Shomundia, who's the Director of Research and Innovation at Ministry of Higher Education. So Dr. Shomundia, what qualification does he have? From the bottom, he is a national certificate in land measuring from Polytechnic of Namibia. The second qualification he has is National Diploma in Land Management from Polytechnic of Namibia. The third qualification he has is Postgraduate Diploma in Geographical Information System from Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. And the fourth qualification he has is Masters of Science in Geographical Information Science from Vrije University, Amsterdam. The fifth qualification he has is Masters of Science in GIS, Remote Sensing, from University of Salzburg. The sixth qualification he has is Bachelor's degree in postgraduate diploma in business management from Management College of South Africa. Then the seventh qualification he has is the Masters of Management, Management Sciences and Strategic Planning from Southern Business School. And then the eighth qualification he has is a PhD or doctorate in philosophy in geography from University of South Africa. That's Dr. Lishomundia, who's at number 9. Now we are moving on to number 8. At number 8, we have Dr. Helmouth Na, who's the legal officer at the Office of the President. So what qualification does he have? From the bottom, he has a senior certificate in public administration and management from University of South Africa, followed by a Bachelor's of Law, LLB, from University of South Africa, followed by Masters of Science, International Relations and Affairs from University of Zimbabwe, followed by Certificate in Project Management from University of Cape Town, followed by Masters of Law, International Economic Law from University of South Africa, followed by Legal Practitioner Training, Postgraduate Legal Training, or JTC, from University of Namibia, followed by a Masters of Business Administration, MBA, in Management from International University of Management, IUM. Lastly, he has a PhD in Law, International Economic Law from University of South Africa. That's a Dr. Helmouth Na, who is at number 8. So now we are moving on to number 7. Who do we have at number 7? We have Dr. Mushinde Kashua, who is the current Herero Paramount Chief or Ombara Oshitambi. He's at number 7. What qualification does he have? Okay, so he's a Paramount Chief of the Overherero Traditional Authority, and he's a former associate professor at NAST. So the qualifications he have are as follows. Okay, he finished his school at Augustine Senior Secondary School in 1988. So the first qualification he acquired is a Bachelor's of Science in Zoology and Botany from University of Namibia, followed by a postgraduate diploma in Ecological and Economic Sustainable Development from the Australian National University, followed by a Masters of Science in Natural Resources, Management and Policy from University of Canberra, followed by a doctorate or Doctor of Philosophy PhD in Natural Resources, Conservation and Research from Stellenbosch Business School, followed by a PhD in Conservation Ecology from University of Stellenbosch. So we are moving on to number 6. At number 6, we have Dr. Erald N, who's the NAST Vice Chancellor, or the Vice Chancellor at NAST. So what qualification does he have? Dr. Erald N. Here are the qualifications. The first one is, now you have to read with me. When he was appointed, it was reported that the Namibia University of Science and Technology, NAST, has appointed Dr. Erald N as Vice Chancellor effective from January next year on a 5-year term. Dr. N holds a Doctor of Philosophy PhD in Plant Science from the University of Nottingham, 2008, a Master of Research in Strategic Resource Management, where he scored the distinction. Remember the definition of a distinction from the beginning of the video. He acquired it from Nottingham Trent University, followed by a Master of Science, where he scored a cum laude from University of Namibia, and then lastly Bachelor of Science from University of Namibia. That's Dr. Erald N, who's the Vice Chancellor of Namibia University of Science and Technology. He replaced Shivika. So we are moving on At number 5, we have Shama Shivika. I just spoke about him. Shama Shivika is currently the deputy chairperson of Electricity Control Board of Namibia. So what qualification does he have? From the bottom, he has a certificate in managing new power market reform and regulation in Africa from University of Cape Town, followed by matriculate general studies from Augustinium High School. This was it. Okay, I think this was the year he finished his high school. He finished in 1978 at Augustinium High School. Then the first qualification there is associate degree from Rockland Community College, followed by a Bachelor's of Arts, where he scored a cum laude in chemistry from Lincoln University, followed by a Master's of Science, Organic Chemistry, from University of Massachusetts, Lowell, and then followed by a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Organic Chemistry from University of Pittsburgh. That's Dr. Shama Shivika. Then he has another one again, a PhD in Studies of Organic Chemistry from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Then lastly, he has a diploma in Proper Development and Investment from University of Cape Town. That's Dr. Shama Shivika. We are moving on to Shama Shivika, you can see, is from a family of academics. 2 years ago, his own brother Michael Shivika was complaining that his older brother Shama Shivika stole his post. So it was reported that Shivika brothers butt heads over top job. So Michael Shivika is the same man who was disqualified from the head of ECN interviews when they were being interviewed for the head of ECN post. So when he applied and when he introduced himself, he decided not to include the part of him working for SWAPO because he previously worked for SWAPO. So he was supposed to communicate about it when he applied, maybe in the CV, and when he introduced himself, he was also supposed to speak about it. But he intentionally decided to hide it. But unfortunately, there was someone in the crowd who had the information, and then he was disqualified when the information was revealed. So later on, him and his older brother, now Shama Shivika, were interviewed for a certain post, where it was reported in a Namibian newspaper that Michael Shivika, 57, believes the chief executive job at a state-owned research and science agency, which is lined up for his brother Shama Shivika, 62, was snatched away from him by his siblings. So they were competing for the same post with the brother. These are brothers. When we say don't compete with your siblings, we say don't compete with your siblings in a negative way, but these people are competing in a positive way. Siblings competing for the same top post, which is very good. So we are moving on to number 4. Number 4, we have Professor Lucius Boots. Lucius Boots, they say he's Namibian, meaning he's South African, but he was born in Tsumeb, Namibia. That's why I consider him a Namibian. I'm not sure whether he has dual citizenship, but one thing I know for sure is he was born in Tsumeb, Namibia. So I consider him a Namibian. So let's look at who he is. So it was a report in the Namibian Sun that this afternoon 4 candidates are expected to provide in front of a curious and likely interrogative mob of public members their vision for the University of Namibia, UNAM, for which they aspire to become Vice-Chancellor. They are Associate Professor Elizabeth Amukungo, Ferdinand Gideon, and Kenneth Matengu, all currently employed at UNAM, and Professor Lucius Boots, a South African. So this was the time when these 4 candidates were being interviewed for the UNAM Vice-Chancellor post that was given to Matengu. So this man was one of the candidates. So let's look at the qualification he has. They are saying he's South African here, but let's look at the qualification he has. So you have to read with me. Trends and future prospect. Professor Lucius Boots, 56, is a professor of development studies and is currently the director of the Center of Development Support and Program Director of the Postgraduate Program in Development Studies, which he initiated some 5 years ago in Bloemfontein, South Africa. Boots, pay attention now. Boots was born on 27th of September 1961 in Tsumeb, Namibia. That's why I consider him a Namibian. He is a South African national. He obtained a Bachelor of Arts in 1982, Bachelor of Theology, where he scored a cum laude. Theology is about religion, Bible, Quran, Torah, that's theology, where he scored a cum laude. And then Bachelor of Arts Honors in Sociology, cum laude again in research. And then Masters of Arts, cum laude again in Sociology, and a PhD in Sociology in 1999, all at the University of Free State, South Africa. So the number of cum laudes he has is the reason I ranked him so high. We are moving on to number 3. At number 3, we have Professor Johannes Nicholas Horn, who is the lecturer at UNAM. So Johannes Nicholas Horn is the Namibian Professor of Human Rights and Constitutional Law at the University of Namibia since 2002. He holds a PhD in Theology and Law and was an advocate in the Office of the Prosecutor General. So here he is, Nico Horn. He's very popular. If you read newspapers and if you watch news, not news, TV, NBC, he must be familiar to you. So let's look at the qualification he has. From the bottom, the first one is Bachelor of Procurationis Law from Rand Afrikaans University, followed by Diploma in Pentecostal Theology, Pastoral Theology from AFM Theological College, followed by Honours Bachelor of Theology, Systematic Theology from University of South Africa, followed by Masters of Arts, who is called a cum laude in Theological Ethics from University of Port Elizabeth. Imagine he scored a cum laude in theology, meaning he knows the Bible better than your pastor. Let's move on. Then he also has a doctorate of theology from University of Western Cape. Then he also has a Masters of Law, Constitutional Law, Criminal Procedures from University of South Africa. Then lastly, he has DR Juris, Constitutionalism and Jurisprudence from University of Bremen. That's Professor Nico Johannes Horn. We have to move on to number 2. At number 2, we have Professor Joseph Disho, who is a lecturer in Germany. He's currently a lecturer in Germany. After he lost his post at NIPAM, he ran to Germany as an asylum seeker. He's from Kavango. So who is Professor Joseph Disho? Professor Joseph Disho is a Namibian writer, politician, political analyst, and public speaker. He holds several educational degrees in political science and other fields. During his study days, he worked against the apartheid system and was imprisoned in Pedi in Eastern London. In 1984, he was a co-founder member of NANSO. He was awarded many awards by many organizations. Throughout his life, he demonstrated independence of thought and intellectual honesty. We are moving on. It's him again. In 1984, he became a Fulbright scholar at Columbia University in New York City, where he completed his PhD in political science in 1992. His dissertation, entitled "The Role of Education in Politics of Control in Namibia 1948-1988, explored the relationship between politics and education in Namibia." So, how do we know he's the second most educated man in Namibia? So you'll have to read with me here. So when he was fired at NIPAM, so he put the blame on George Smatter. And then George Smatter, during the interview, he reported that, let's read now. So I'm not one of the people that would want to fight a long-standing friend. As a friend, I called him in my office here. I said, there are these allegations about you and audits that come from PwC. These things are denying for you. You are the only educated men we have in this country. So for George Samatta to call him the only educated man in the country, it basically means George Samatta is aware of the qualifications that Disho has. That's why he called him the only educated man we have in this country. If we charge you with misconduct, you will be in trouble, and it's going to drag your name down. We can offer an opportunity to separate, Samatta narrated. He continued, I've never spoken about these things, but since you are asking and I could be a good space now, it would be a good space now, I've said so. And he said, oh George, you are saying the truth. Let me go and think about it. I said, I give you 1 hour, but here is a letter before this time tomorrow. Call me back. He called me back and said, I've accepted the separation and I'll produce it in writing. The email is here. When there was noise at that time, I sent the emails to the newspaper to read, which was sent by him. So we separated with Disho. We did not fire Disho, but we went to court, and always in all these situations, we won the cases at NIPA, Samatta. So Disho is the second most educated man in Namibia. That's why George Samatta referred to him as the only educated man we have in Namibia. So I don't know the list of qualifications he has, but most of us just know him as the most educated man in Namibia, and you are surprised when you see him at number 2. So let's move on to number 1. At number 1, we have Honorable Pena Mshelenga, who's the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. So what qualification does he have? You have to read with me. To put it on record, Mshelenga is the proud holder of the following degrees: Bachelor of Arts in History and Political Science from University of Namibia, Baccalaureus Juris from University of Namibia, Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Open University of Tanzania, Bachelor of Education from Open University of Tanzania, Bachelor of Arts Honours in International Politics from University of South Africa, Bachelors of Law Honours from University of Namibia, Masters of Arts in International Politics from University of South Africa, Masters of Laws in International Law from University of Namibia, Masters of Business Administration from Eastern and Southern African Management Institute, and a Doctor of Literature and Philosophy in International Politics from University of South Africa. That's Dr. Pena Mshelenga. That's why he's the number 1 or the most educated man in Namibia. When you look at the qualifications again, they are here. First one is BA in History, so you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So he has 14 qualifications. That's Dr. Pena Mshelenga. So he's at number 1. But before we conclude, I want you to look at this one. Before we conclude, I want to give an honorable mention to 2 people who could not make it into the top 12, but I believe they deserve some honorable mention. So the first one is Miss Emilia Ngikembua, who's the CEO of Crane. So why am I giving her an honorable mention? It's because of this. She has a B Juris Law from University of Namibia, and then she has a Bachelor's of Law, LLB, from University of Namibia, and then she has a Master's of Law from University of Namibia. Look at the grade in 2009. She scored a cum laude. That cum laude she scored is the reason I'm giving her an honorable mention, because it's so special. So, okay, she has other qualifications, but the most important one is this cum laude she has in a Master's in Law from UNAM. I know how low at UNAM, how tough law at UNAM is. So for someone to score a cum laude in a Master's in Law, that person should be very tough. We are moving on. The second and last person I'm giving an honorable mention to today is Professor Ferdinand Gideon, who is the senior lecturer at UNAM. Why am I giving him an honorable mention? Okay, Professor Gideon, when he was interviewed for the UNAM Vice Chancellor post and the NAST Vice Chancellor post, 2 interviews for different posts, head of UNAM and head of NAST, he came out number 1. But since those posts are politically appointed or affiliated. Their heads are politically appointed by the president. He was not given the post because there are so many things they look at. Apart from your performance in the interviews, they also look at other things now, testimonial, the views from your subordinates, which might also affect you, even if you performed very well in the interviews. So let's read. The University of Namibia Council is expected to meet tomorrow to discuss the outcome of the interviews for the Vice Chancellor position after a tie between candidate Kenneth Matengu and Ferdinand Gideon. The two candidates, according to sources, scored 81%, which is Matengu. Kenneth Matengu scored 81% and 81.3% for Ferdinand Gideon, respectively. So technically, Professor Ferdinand Gideon outscored Professor Matengu. He came out number 1 in the interviews. So when he went to NAST again after some years, it was also reported that Gideon is alleging that the NAST Council and the committee that made the appointment recommendation to the council failed to properly apply their minds. He also said the decision to appoint Naumab instead of himself as vice chancellor was unreasonable given that he received a higher score than Naumab when their merits as candidates for the vice chancellor post were considered. So he came out number 1 at NAST. He outscored Dr. Erald N, but was not given the post. So that's why I want to give him an honorable mention for being one of the smartest people we have in Namibia. Done with honorable mentions. So now I'm giving you a homework. This homework, please do this homework in the comment section. The homework is as follows. So if two kings can't live under one roof, who is the paramount chief or Mbara Oshitambi of the Ovaherero people? Number 1. Let's read together. The newly elected Ombara Oshitambi, Dr. Jose Riruako of Chief Kapoor's faction, says the Ovaherero people will overcome the ongoing challenges. Jose Riruako was elected few months after another faction of the Ovaherero Traditional Authority installed Professor Mushinde Kashua in the Ombara Oshitambi. The Ovaherero Traditional Authority, or OTA, now has 2 men in the same with the same title. So, like I said in the homework, 2 kings can't live under one roof. You cannot have 2 kings for the same kingdom. Only one should be king. The other one should be vice. So who's the paramount? Who's the king of the Ovaherero? Is Mushinde Kashua or Dr. Jose Riruako? So this is Dr. Jose Riruako. The day he was coronated as the Ombara Oshitambi, or the paramount chief of the Ovaherero. And then this is Dr. Mushinde Kashua. On the day he was also coronated as the Ombara Oshitambi, or the paramount chief of the Ovaherero. Here he is, Professor Mushinde Kashua, coronated Ombara Oshitambi of the Ovaherero. Here he is again, paramount chief of Ovaherero Traditional Authority, Dr. Mushinde Kashua. So please give me the answer in the comment section.